we are going to study the topic called aspects or elements of practical stage of sanctification. We have two aspects or we have two elements of practical stage of sanctification. One is positive aspect and another one is negative aspect. This is the area that takes many Christians to hellfire because they don't know about sanctification. So, positive aspects, we need to present our bodies as a living sacrifice, or we have some things in the body in which we are supposed to do, maybe we had not been doing by the time we received Christ. And we have negative elements or negative aspects. So we have things that you are supposed to put off from your body or to put away from your life while still living as a Christian, so that you can qualify to be a saint of God. So this is the area where many Christians never want to practice, claiming that it is difficult. Even some say that God looks at the heart, but your appearance reflects what is in the heart. In the book of Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 14 to 17, the Bible says, people says that the way of the Lord is not fair, but it is their way which is not fair. So negative elements or things to put off from your heart. In the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 5 to 6, the Bible says you need to put to death your members. They are a part of you. Those things in your life you are doing, they are just part of you. So you need to put away from your life. The book of Romans chapter 7 verse 8, things that you are supposed to put off, they are like evil desires. Another one is in the book of 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 8. You need to put off wrath. In the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 8, you need to put off filthy language. When we read Colossians chapter 5 verse 19, we need to put off lewdness or sexual loose. If you are loose sexually, you need to stand firm and become strong in Christianity. Jeremiah chapter 13 verse 27, you need to put off lust, strong feeling of sexual desire in you towards people who are not your partner. You need to put off in your life. And we read in the book of 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 1, you need to put off malice or ill will or desire to harm some people or someone. When we read in the book of Ephesians chapter 4 verse 3 verse 31, you need to put off anger or a strong feeling of anyone else. When you have or a strong feeling towards somebody or an annoyance in you. In the book of Acts of Apostles, chapter 8, verse 23, we need to put off bitterness or resentment in you. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 23, you need to put off strife or conflict or a bitter disagreement between you and your fellows. According to the book of Romans chapter 7, verse 5, you need to put off sinful passion, like strong emotion, especially romantic or hatred. In the book of Ephesians chapter 5, verse 5, you need to put off whoremonger. Whoremonger is having a dealing with prostitute, having a deal with a prostitute, or you are a customer of a prostitute, you are a whoremonger. So you need to put off such a behavior in you if you are a genuine Christian. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verse 7, we need to put off uncleanness or anything that can defile your body, like smoking cigarette. It's also uncleanness. 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 3, you need to put off covetousness or immoderate desire for the possession of something, especially for wealth, or having a great desire to possess something belonging to someone else. You need to put off such a behaviors. According to the book of James, chapter 5, verse 9, grumble. You need to put off grumble or complain or a bad tempered way. Complaining in a bad tempered way. You are grumbling always. You need to put off. In the book of Leviticus 19, verse 18, if you have grudge in you, or having a long-term animosity or ill will about something or someone, especially due to past bad deeds, you need to put off from your heart. Another thing that you are supposed to put off, we read in the book of Jude chapter 1 verse 16, express feeling of pain or dissatisfaction. You need to put off from you, or make a formal accusation. You need to put off from you. One thing, you need to put off idolatry. Some people are moving around with idols in their neck. Some say it is a rosary. Some say it is anything, an ornament that you put on or you put in the church. You worship it. That is an idolatry. You need to put off. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 9. Worship of idols. When you worship an idol, know very well that you are not a genuine Christian. An idol is a representative of a sacred being. When you create something and you say that this thing is Jesus, this thing is Mary, this thing represents some saints, this thing represents someone else, and you put in the church, it means you are an idol worshipper. You need to put off those things if you want to be a genuine Christian. In the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 10, you need not to be a reviler. A reviler is somebody who uses abusive language. You need to put off from you. In the book of Romans chapter 1, verse 30, you need to put off backbiting. If you are a backbiter or you like to speak about someone else who is not around you, you need to put off so that you can be a genuine Christian. You need also to put off sexual immorality. The book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 8. Adultery is what we are calling immorality. Fornication and adultery you need to put off. For instance, adultery is when you practice sex out of marriage. When you are married legally and you go with another partner who is not your partner, you have sex with him or her, that is called adultery. Or you want to play sexual behaviors with somebody else, that is called adultery. Fornication is when you practice sex when you are not married. So sex is not for people who are not married. If you are not married legally, know very well that you are not supposed to practice sex. You are not supposed to sleep with an opposite sex if you are not married legally. Legal marriage, I think you understand it. So you should avoid it if you want to be a genuine Christian. In the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 11, you need to put off extortioning, or you are not supposed to be an extortioner, or obtaining something wrongfully, or obtaining by force. So all these things, if you are a genuine Christian, you must come out of them so that you can be forgiven and your name will be written in the book of life, so that by the time you come out of this world, you'll enter heaven at last. Be blessed.